What's up guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do another cine breakdown. This time it's of the Hardwell Summer Air music video. Recently put out a behind the scenes video of the whole shoot, and that's kind of what the timeline I have here is, the behind the scenes shoot. But now I'm just going to go through it and kind of break down the scenes, why we're shooting it, the gear we used, how we lit it, and just kind of all that stuff. So let's just get right into it. Gear wise, because a lot of people want to know the gear, we used Atlas anamorphic lenses. Me right here, everything was handheld. Just wanted to really, actually I'm getting into how we shot it. Let's just talk gear. So we used the Atlas anamorphic lenses, 65 millimeter. For Ben here, I had the 40 millimeter, 45, I forget which focal range it is. Red Helium 8K. Ben was running the red Gemini 5K, and that's really it. Simple handheld builds. Ben was using a easy rig the majority of the time. I was going handheld. Oh, the other really key thing is quarter Hollywood black magic filter. I've talked about this in the past on videos, and being that the video was supposed to be like an 80s vibe, we really wanted to enhance that visually. So using like either a Pro Mist, or in this case Hollywood black magic quarter strength, to like lift those highlights and give it a little more of that lifted, blown out highlight, not blown out, but lifted highlight feel, to make it feel a little more vintage and retro. It's a great way to make your projects feel a little bit more filmic and not as digital, which will take you back to that era, since in the 80s they shot on film. So that was kind of the gear that we used to shoot. Everything handheld, and for that reason is because I wanted you to feel like you were on an adventure with the kids. When you go, either Steadicam, tripod, Ronin, it starts to really feel like set up and like you're watching a story rather than like you're on this adventure with them. Because when you shoot handheld and you're up with them and moving around, it kind of feels like you're a character or a person with them on this adventure or journey. And the more you start to like set up shots and have it be very professional or stale in the sense of like it's calculated, you kind of lose that a little bit. So everything handheld, just going handheld using the easy rig. There you can see Ben pulling our own focus. The budget was a 2-day shoot, and the budget was somewhat sizable, but for renting all the props, paying the kids for the 2 days, all the different locations, gear, I think I said props. Yeah, props. It's just, it really ate away at the budget. So we also had to keep as low, kind of profile and on the move as possible, because we had to hit so many different locations over the 2 days. The more crew you start to add and extra people doing things, it just makes it harder to really breeze through everything. And because we had to hit so many locations over 2 days, and in sometimes some tricky areas like this river or creek or forest, it just made more sense for us to pull our own focus. So the reason we shot 2 cameras as well kind of goes back to what I just talked about, is having those 2 different focal ranges at the same time on the same action allows you to move much quicker through your shoot. For example, if they're jumping here on this trampoline, or they're in their tree fort, or this end shot right here, I can be getting a wide establishing shot on the 40, and then Ben can be off to the side catching the exact same action on a tighter lens. And so when you're cutting in the edit, you can go boom wide, and then you can cut instantly to that close-up tight shot, and you don't have to stop, if you had one camera, stop, reset, change lenses, and shoot the exact same action again from a different angle. And naturally it's not going to be the exact same. A kid's hand might be different, he might be holding the map different, and so being able to shoot the exact same action simultaneously speeds up the process, makes cutting way more seamless, because you can just jump from frame to frame and nothing changes. And so on this shoot, with how much we were moving around and the kids being kids and being a little unpredictable, having those 2 cameras so we could just like shoot every scene from 2 angles, move quicker, never have to change lenses and do it again and again. Because especially when you're dealing with kids, they get really tired easy, and they're like kind of get out of it. So if you were to have to do the same scene over and over and then like switch lenses and do it over and over again, it just really slows down the process, especially with kids, but just in general. So doing that was like a huge lifesaver. Yeah, as far as like lighting goes, we didn't use any lights outside of the little tree clubhouse scene where we emulated kind of like a little video game scene where they're playing video games, and I took one of my little Quasar 7-inch lights, we threw a blue gel around it to kind of give a TV color feel, and then was just waving the hand in front of the lens to give like a flicker TV effect. So really low budget way of doing it, but it worked. Let me see if I can find that here actually. We have a little 7-inch Quasar wrapped in a blue gel, very DIY, and then just waving the hand in front of it to kind of give this like flicker effect. You can see even if I do this, how it kind of, you know, feels like it's flickering. So that was kind of just like a little quick DIY trick to have them playing video games. And then again, we did the same thing in the arcade. I love just using natural light and finding the best ways to use natural light to light a scene. I feel like a lot of times people overcomplicate things with having to bring in these big lights and neg fill and all these different things. And again, it really just comes back to with how quickly we had to move and how low profile we had to stay because we didn't have permits. So just being able to be on the run, on the gun, without having to like have all these extra crew members bringing in different lights or fill or diffusion or anything like that, just knocking it out, making the visual feel natural, because that's the other thing. We don't want it, or at least I didn't want it to feel so polished that it feels fake. You want to feel like you're on this adventure with them, you're hanging out with them, and just have it feel as natural as possible. And a good way of doing that is just using natural light to your best advantage with every scene, finding that good, like for example here, finding that good backlight as they come in. You can see this nice shadow side on him, shooting shadow side for that cinematic feel, and then you have the highlights coming in on the right side here, a little bit of backlight. So just using the natural light to your best advantage and finding the frames and the angles and shots that play off that natural light. Shooting shadow side, backlight coming in, hitting them, finding those flares and those moments. And that's how you shoot in daylight, natural light with no excess lighting equipment. Outside of that, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Had a fun time shooting this one. You guys should go check out the video. I'll probably link it here somewhere in the description below. Let me know if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns about the video. You know, concerns. I don't know why I'd have concerns, but yeah, hopefully this video helped. I love kind of like breaking down this stuff for you. If you guys want me to continue this, to do this kind of stuff for all the videos and projects I do, let me know. That's it. That's all I have for you guys today. So without further ado, I'm Jakob Owens for the Buff Nerds, and I'm out.